It's the only thing. Let's join Angel and Eric for today's program.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. Home of positive business talk. And if you would like, you can always get the archives of this broadcast, find out a little more about what we do, how we create influence. We've been doing it for 8.5 years. And you can just go to experiencepros.com.
We would love to connect with you. We do so much off the air, and we have an incredible community of marketing partners to help you grow your business as well, help you become a micro influencer. Do you ever just not wanna?
Yep.
Right. There's just times where I just don't feel like being productive. I'm just spent and I'm done. I don't have any gas left in the tank. And now I know there are certain people that they just run circles around everybody else. They seem to accomplish so much more. They get so much more done. You look at those that are successful. In fact, I was at the grocery store yesterday.
Yeah.
And you know how they have all the magazines like right there at the checkout?
Sure.
Oprah Winfrey is on the cover of 4 magazines in the checkout stand right now.
You know that girl's a go-getter.
Right. And yet like we're all still waiting, still trying to create our one thing or try to do the one thing. But what separates those who become super successful from those who just maintain the status quo? Now, if the status quo is what you're after and you're happy there, like my husband, he's like, I just want to be fat and happy. Okay. Like there are just days which he's lying because, he's a competitive
for a challenge as well.
He's a competitive cyclist and all that. But there are just some times where like I've given and I'm done. And maybe this is my recharge season. Last year, about 6 months ago. Well, a year ago, we switched from being the morning talk show host to the afternoon talk show host.
Correct.
Here in Denver, Colorado. So we used to get up at 3 a.m. and we did that for a year. When that went away, I took 6 months to recover.
You did.
I didn't even realize how exhausted I was, how much my health was in trouble. And I took 6 months and I just didn't take on any new projects. Now I'm the kind of person who, if I'm just sitting still, I'm antsy. Like that's not my happy place.
Sure.
Is doing nothing. But you know what? I love a good cozy weekend just as much as the next person, just not every weekend. Right. But once in a while. But what do you do if you have stuff to do and you just don't feel like doing anything, but it's got to be done?
Well, thanks to an article written by Chris Widener, we've had some answers to some of those things. And the first one is to connect the action with good vibes, not pain. Angel, I drive and I have been, very open here on the program. I've been driving for one of the rideshare companies just as a way to kind of get out of debt and make a little extra cash. And, I came home yesterday afternoon and I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to go out. And I had to associate why I go out instead of why I don't want to.
Right?
I don't want to because I'm tired.
Right. It's so, it's pain versus pleasure.
Right.
I'm tired. I'd rather sit at home. That's going to take me away from my comfort space. That's going to take me away from these other things I want to be doing versus the pleasure. Right. And so anytime that we lack motivation, right, from going to the gym, making phone calls to our clients, right, when we, following up because we're worried about being rejected versus look at what I've got to gain and how much money is sitting here in this follow-up that I'm just letting, right? We've got to associate the pleasure with the pain. The pleasure of, you hang up that really cute dress that you're going to fit into, and that's why you're going to the gym. You hang up a picture of, you on that next vacation. That's why you're working that second job.
Right.
And so where's the pleasure? Where's the pleasure? Where's the pleasure? And this is like a mantra because what our brain wants to do, it's lazy. It's that lizard brain that wants to keep us safe, wants to keep us comfortable, and wants to keep us right where we're at because this is familiar and this is what we know. And yet where we got to get to is on the other side.
That's exactly right. The next thing is take a moment to honestly evaluate, do you really need a break from this? Right. There could be situations, the last 3 weeks for me, 4 weeks now, I needed a break because my body couldn't recover. I got that crud that everybody in the country got.
Right. And, the crud and you getting sick is your body's way of saying,
slow down,
stop what you're doing, take a break, get some rest, and do some self-care. Right? I mean, it's the perfect excuse to take a break and get some self-care. But what do? We show up back at work. We spread that crud around. We keep going. We keep, doing all this stuff. And so it creates this, perpetual cycle. There are times where you might honestly really need a break. You've been burning the candle at both ends. But ask yourself is that honestly the answer? And if it is, then give yourself a break. Now, that break might be 15 minutes. Right. It might be a day. It might be an hour, whatever that is. But then you've got to get right back to it. If you are not making follow-up phone calls and growing your business, a month is not a break that you need. Maybe an hour, take a break, walk around, get some food, right?
Right.
It is, you don't get to take the whole day or 2 days or a whole week or a whole month. That's now you've slipped into lazy, right? And go back to the pleasure part. What do you have to gain? What's in it for you? Why should you show up? Why should you do the work? We get to, Dave Ramsey says, live like today, like no one else, so that someday you can live like no one else. You've got to do the work.
Yes, ma'am.
Start small.
Baby steps, right? Every little thing is an increment. If you're talking about, going to the gym, and you just don't want to, but you gotta, go for a few minutes.
I did this. I had to do this a couple days ago. I got on my treadmill at home. Yeah. And, it's kind of boring to do it at home. Right?
Sure.
Because I usually go to Orange Theory Fitness where there's a coach and there's people and there's music and there's a clock. And so here I am at home. It's just me doing my thing. Right.
Yeah. And
so I'm like, okay, just 10 minutes, Angel. You can do it for 10 minutes.
Right.
And then once I'm getting like 7.5 minutes, well, you know what? I could probably do another 10 minutes.
Sure you could.
And then I'm getting closer to the 20-minute mark. You know what? I could probably go another 10 minutes. And so, but just saying, just do 10 minutes and then you could be done. But then you start to get, the adrenaline and you start to see some success and you're like, we can do this a little longer.
And we really can. And there's lots of opportunities to do that. So keep in mind right there that there's a little step in the right direction is always positive. How about this? Change your routine. If you find treadmill running is a little boring or mundane, get out and go take a run around the neighborhood or the Greenbelt or whatever. Now, it's really cold here, so we don't do that here in Colorado, but there's other places in the country.
I've got other things, I've got a workout tapes that I bought and
there you go.
Collecting dust, right? Maybe I could do something with that, right? But it is, switch it up just a little bit, change your scenery, do it instead of running around the track this way, run the track the other way. I know it seems silly that should even matter, but really you're just disrupting those brain patterns just enough to get you started instead of keeping you from not doing it.
And the final thought on how to get stuff done when you really don't want to is probably one of my favorite. And that is set a reward, right?
Prizes,
set a reward, celebrate the milestone, however small it might be. The fun little conversation that happened in our office today was you were paying bills and you opened up a thing that you expected a bill to be associated with. And you're like, oh, they're not asking me for money. This
nothing
month.
Is due. I'd already started to write out the check.
Yeah.
And I'm looking on it going, well, how much do I need to write it for? And it said amount due zero. And Eric said, celebrate that.
Stop right there and celebrate that. And, I get the eye rolls and whatnot, but I love celebrating those little moments that say, something unexpected and positive happened in our lives today. Let's do a little mini wave in celebration of the moment.
Always.
Yeah.
Always, right? Eric's really good about reminding me to stop and celebrate because I will just go to the very next thing. Right? I got things to do and I move along. And so in our office, he's the party guy. Let's celebrate that, Angel. Yes.
I'm the party guy.
Right? Take a moment.
And there it is. Each one of these things, if you don't feel like getting stuff done, welcome to humanity. There's so many things that we don't necessarily love or want to do, but the end result is probably worth it. And so shift that attitude and keep that in mind as you consider taking over your world. Angel and I will be back right after these messages. You are listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show, home of positive business talk, and you are invited to connect with us at experiencepros.com.